Hi, my name is Kevin Comerford, class of '83. I'm the treasurer of the Maritime College Alumni Association, and I'm also the chairman of the Finance Committee. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about the Finance Committee and what it is we do. A little background on me first. Like I said, class of '83, engineer. Did 10 years in the maritime industry, 7 at sea, 3 as a port engineer, 3 years at Montefiore Medical Center, and then I've been at Sloan Kettering 24 years. Married to a maritime graduate. My wife's Lee, class of '82, Leah Riccio Comerford. We've been married 34 years. And I've been on the board. I was on the board before. I was on the board from 2009 to 2014 as treasurer. Learned the trade underneath Ted Mason. Ted was very, very knowledgeable. I took a little hiatus, and I've been back on the board for 2 years. So I have about 7 years experience as treasurer. And, we work very hard at this organization, especially with dealing with all the money. The Finance Committee. We have 5 people in the Finance Committee. We have Sam Riley, class of '95, Henry Bola, class of '98, Ted Mason, '57, and Victor Corso, '83, and myself, '83. The Finance Committee has 2 major functions: the operations money and the funds. Now, the operations money, the treasurer takes care of that for the most part. But the Finance Committee oversees it and takes a look at it, looks at it, make sure everything's acceptable. Presently, this week, we had $10,594,000 in our funds, which is a lot of money considering when I started up with this organization 10 years ago, we had maybe 6 million. So we're doing well with the funds. The funds made $2 million in 2019. They were up, and they're up almost $1 million this year in 2020. So the market's good, the funds are good. What do we do? What does the Finance Committee do with these funds? Well, this year alone, we had some meetings, and we decided to increase the cash and cash equivalents from 6% to 8%. Just with the uncertainty of the world going on right now, with the election, the COVID, the economy, we thought it'd be a little safer to put a little more money into cash. The Pierside program, which you've probably heard about, there was no summer sea term this year. The cadets couldn't get out to sea due to quarantine. So that's a lot of sea time that they're going to have to make up. And the Admiral put together a very good program, 30 days Pierside program, where they stayed on the ship at the school and picked up 30 days sea time, which helps a little bit. We wanted to help the school and help the cadets pay for that. It was $2,000 a head. We have summer sea term money, but we can't. A lot of the MOUs dedicate the money specifically to summer sea term. This is not summer sea term. The MOU is a memorandum of understanding. It's an agreement between the class, the person, and our organization as to how their money is going to be invested. Some say put it towards the summer sea term scholarship. Some say any scholarship. Some say incoming freshmen. Some say deck cadet only. Some say engine cadet only. So we have to make sure that we follow that MOU, and we can't just take their money. They have an agreement that goes to a deck cadet and give it to an engine cadet. So what we had to do with the committee is we had to go through all the MOUs and see which ones say summer sea term and which ones say scholarships. And then we took that money, the scholarship money, not the summer sea term money, and we got that together. We went up gathering $120,000 to help pay for this program. We contributed $500 per cadet on the program, that's 25%. That's a nice bit of change to help these guys and girls out. Third thing we're working on the Finance Committee right now is how do we get this money for the summer sea term? Now, hopefully they'll be back at sea next year, and our goal is $250,000 a year. What we do is, and it's a formula that was set up years ago, well before me. They take the interest and the dividends from all the funds, from the $10 million, and that money gets put aside, and that money goes to the summer sea term scholarship program. And the cadets would write essays and financial aid and qualify for our scholarship money. Well, you all know there's not much interest anymore. Interest is gone. So we're not getting as much money in interest and dividends as we were historically for the summer sea term scholarship program. So we're working on a new method to change that formula, and I've been speaking to different people, and we're coming up with a new formula, and we're pretty comfortable with it. We will have it rolled out by the first of the year, and we will run it by the board for a vote, and if that works out, we will be contributing more money to the summer seat term next year. Another thing we did this year with the finance committee is consolidation of funds. We started the year with 35 funds. It's a lot to manage for our bookkeeper and our financial people. And some of these funds are old. They've been around a long time, and some of them are small. And so what we did is we reviewed all the MOUs, and we found 7 funds that have identical MOUs that haven't had any money contributed to them in a number of years. And we rolled them into one new fund called the 7 Fund. And we're also tracking this percentages of what went into this fund when we built this fund, so that if anybody calls me and says, look, my grandpa had a fund years ago, can you tell me how much money's in it? I'll have an answer for him. And we did have one smaller fund that we rolled into. It was an unrestricted fund for the Alumni House that we rolled into the Valiant Fund. And they're both unrestricted funds, so if we ever decide to buy an Alumni House, the money's there. The Finance Committee is a very hardworking committee. We get together quite often, and we're dealing with a lot of money. And should you have any questions, feel free to email me at treasurer@maritimecollegeaa.org. That's a new email address. That's treasurer@maritimecollegeaa.org. So if you have any questions, send me a buzz. Thanks.